Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Health 219 Women's Health for the summer session. I wanted to review with you what we're doing in the course, in Unit 1 in particular, just to help you stay on task. Excuse me. So in Unit 1, when you look here, you see you have a discussion board, introduction of yourself due today, the 31st. You have an introduction to the course due today, the 31st. And this weekend on the 4th, you have an online O2 checkpoint assignment, and this is a checkpoint for your final project. While it's only the first week of the class, and that seems very quick, you need to understand it's a 5-week class, and I need to keep checking to see where you are in your final project. All the assignments we do in this course, over 90% of them are related to you finishing your final project. On the 5th, you'll have your first unit discussion board post, and on the 7th, you'll follow up with your post 2. And on the 9th, you'll have a reflection, which is on Unit 1. So when you open Unit 1, you have the introduction. When you open this, you'll see videos about the units and the course. So you're supposed to watch these 3 movies or videos. Make sure you post your discussion and make sure you finish this assignment. This assignment is where you tell me which topics you're interested in doing your final project on, and it's self-explanatory. Okay. Let's go up to Unit 1. This unit, Social Determinants of Health and Healthy People. This helps you understand what the national goals are related to women's health and how they come about. And this lesson 3 on history has a tremendous amount of reading, and I highly recommend that you divide the reading among your group members so that you're not trying to read 300 or 400 pages. So when you look at this, it says you should read this is the slides that go with history. This book you would have either purchased or bought. Purchased, or you're going to do it online. Here are 2 online links to it. This is a book that I'm suggesting that you skim, not read. And this book is the actual literature notes of a famous gynecologist who actually introduced gynecology to the United States. Again, this is something you will divide and read only portions of. And then here is your posting. Your checkpoint 1 is where you turn this in, and your reflection, which asks you questions and to answer them. So here is checkpoint 01. It tells you to use APA format unless in your major you use something else. If your major uses MLA or Chicago, just post that and I'll score you and give you feedback based on that format. If you say nothing, then I'm assuming you're using APA, and I'll score and give you feedback based on APA format. So you need at least 2 of these rows filled out for your topic. Pathophysiology is cellular, what happens cellularly if you have a disease. Epidemiology is mortality, morbidity, incidence, and prevalence. Treatment and prevention, groups most at risk and risk factors, key historical factors, legal policy factors, and then the 5 social determinants of health that we're going to go over. You need to fill in 2 of these rows. It's only a week into the class, so try to find the information that you have, and then you need to tell me what happened. So for example, in epidemiology, which is what this one is, it says white women have higher incidence, black women have higher mortality, and it cites the source. And that source would be listed up here at the top. It says use APA format and list some of your references that you're going to be using. In this class, some of the references, probably more than half of them, will be websites like the Centers for Disease Control or disease organizations, whether it's suicide, mental health, cancer, and I'll help you with that as you go. As you're filling these blanks in, I'm assuming you're only going to be looking at these first 5 for checkpoint 1. I can get my mouse to go down. Hold on. So if you are looking for pathophysiology and you cannot find anything, put I cannot find anything, or I need help finding this, and then I will give you some links to get you started. So 2 of these will be filled in on this online assignment. APA format of citations that you're going to use, and then 2 of these rows will be filled in. You can fill in more, but the requirement is 2. That's checkpoint 01. Your reflection document, just to go over it. It gives you questions. It says if you type below the question, use ink that's not black or red. And if you put all your answers at the bottom, then make sure you number your answers. Okay, pull this down. The only other thing I want to look at with you is what the final project is. If you go to the information section, the final project is here. I will also tell you where there is a recording of what I'm going to tell you. But if you look at it, this is the specific guideline for the document. It shows how you score yourself and peers and how I will score you. But I'm only going to open this first document, Special Guide Final Project Guidelines. So in this final project, you're going to have 2 parts. One is a short paper that's only going to be 1/2 to 1.5 pages double spaced. This requires no research. It tells you, you're going to tell us what you did and why you did it. Okay, that's the first part. The second part is an artifact, and there's a variety of artifacts we're going to look at the bottom. And no matter what topic you use or no matter what artifact you use, you have to include specific items. So you need description of disease or condition, address historical legal policy, and address 3 of the 5 SDOH. The genre guidelines are listed alphabetically below. You have a letter to a politician or editor. You have a plan of attack, if you want to read that. You can do print media. This is a variety of things that you could do. Brochures, flyers, infographics, slides or presentation. I'm very limited on who's allowed to do slides or presentations because almost everyone who chooses this project does it incorrectly and loses points. If you choose a slide presentation, your slide presentation is to your audience, not about your audience. So if your audience is teens living in urban areas of the United States, the slide presentation is to them. It's not to us about them, it's to them. Social media, this could be social media ads, it could be a social media page, and you'll actually create the page and the posts, and then you'll give us links to those. There's tons of other things that you could do, but that's some suggestions. I do not accept written papers as a final project. Let me go back to content. This is the introduction assignment. It's going to take a few seconds to open. Actually, it did not. Okay. So this is questions on the slides, and the last thing you do is you number the items 1 to 10. These are listed alphabetically. If there's something you'd like to add that's not here, you can do that, and if it's appropriate, I'll accept it. These are the different topics that you can do. Again, if you have something you want to suggest, just add it. These are the types of choices that you have: politicians, critique of current advertisements, which is limited to very few topics, letter to an editor, brochure, infographic, slide presentation, a plan for action, media, web media, and other formats. If you have something, for example, sometimes people would like to do a podcast. And so if that's something you'd like to do, that's fine. Anything that's starred, you have to be very specific about the population that you want to address. At this point, you may not know that, but by the end of next week, you will. So, for example, these are some things. If I want to do abortion, and I put the format, Alzheimer's format. And so from whatever you give me on this online assignment, I will then approve one of the topics and genres for you to use for your final project. So just to summarize very quickly what's happening in Unit 1, we have a discussion board intro, the intro assignment where you also give me the topics that you want. As soon as you submit those, I will approve your topics and send them back to you so you can get started. On June 4th, you have a checkpoint assignment. On the 5th, a discussion board post 1, the 7th discussion board post 2, and the 9th reflection. Discussions, here's your introduction. Many of you have already submitted that. And here is posting Unit 1, Post 1. I believe there'll only be one group in the class, but these are the things that you have to do for Unit 1. The rest of the units will open later this week. I need to go in and change dates and make sure everything is okay. Looking for your welcome. There's the welcome. Again, welcome to Women's Health. I look forward to working with you all semester. And please never hesitate to ask if you have questions. I'm happy to answer questions via email, or we could set up a web meeting. Take care, and I hope you enjoyed the first week of the unit.